Hi, this is Melissa McCooley with a brief overview of standard-based report cards. So, in traditional grading, students receive A's, B's, C's, D's, and so forth. So, student A, B, and C in a third grade class could receive an A in a subject. If we look a little bit deeper, those grades can be very different. So, student A receives an A. He stays with the homeroom teacher, receives 95 to 100 on all tests and quizzes, and is working on grade level. He also completes his homework. Student B receives an A in a subject, is receiving modified instruction from a special education teacher, works on a second grade level independently, and receives 95 to 100 on those tests and quizzes. Also completes their homework. Student C stays with their homeroom teacher, receives 100 plus on all assignments, and is working way above grade level. He also completes his homework. So as you can see, this A looks very different when we dig a little deeper. Here's another example. Fifth graders Olivia and Patrick both receive a D- on a traditional grading report card. If we look a little deeper, Olivia and Patrick are performing much differently. Olivia typically gets a D on all assessments. Patrick, however, is getting 98s and 100s on most of them and may have just missed or didn't put any effort into one assessment. So you can see the D- is much different when we look a little deeper. So standard-based report cards are as follows. A 4 in a subject area or standard means that they are exceeding that standard. The student independently is working above the standard level. Few students will reach this level. 3 is what we're shooting for. That means the student has met the standard on a continuous basis. They can take any Common Core standard that they're expected to perform on and do it independently, consistently. A 2 means that they have not yet mastered the standard independently on their own. They may be beginning to grasp the concept, but they still need a little bit of assistance. If a student receives a 1, that means they continually need support to actually accomplish the standard. And then there's an NA, which means that the teacher really hasn't gone over that standard or does not have enough information to accurately give a score. So how do they assess? You're not going to see your typical A or 95 on an assessment. What you're going to see is a cover sheet that looks like this. So for this Chapter 1 test in math, the following standards were addressed. We have operations in algebraic thinking, numbers and operations in base 10, and multi-digit base 10. And these were the questions that coincide with these standards. So for this entire assessment, you can see that these questions coincide with this standard, these questions coincide with this standard, and these questions with this. And you're going to see how many they got correct on this standard. So you're not going to see a traditional grade on the top because you're going to get more information and see how they're performing on specific standards. For reading, you're going to see this chart at the top of a report card or in a cover letter that we send home. And the first thing that you're going to notice is your child's American Reading Company independent level. That's where they can read by themselves, answer comprehension questions, and really perform without any support. So if the student is in second grade, to receive a 3 and meet a grade level reading standard, they would need to be in either a 1R or a 2R. If they are performing independently on any of these colors, the highest they're going to get in reading would be a 2 or a 1 because they are not performing on grade level yet. If they are reading on this part of the continuum, they could be receiving 4s because they are reading above grade level standards. Let's look a little bit deeper at the report card. As you can see, we explained before the 4, 3, 2, 1 in NA. We also have habits of success, and this is also done in special areas. We have reading here. The standards that you see listed on any of our report cards were not just created randomly. They come from our state standards. So if you went on New Jersey DOE and read all the standards for all the subject areas, that's where you're going to see the items on this report card. For writing, they're going to be assessed the same way. If they're writing on each of these standards on grade level, they would receive a 3. If they're not yet mastering that standard, they would get a 2 or a 1. And for those students that write exceptionally well, they would be getting a 4 in some of those standards. The same holds true for the other subject areas. For math, it's quite difficult for a student to really be working above grade level because most of the instruction is going to be on grade level, which would be a 3, so they're meeting the standard. For those students that are consistently whipping through math and really need to be pushed a little bit more, they would be getting more project-based things and more enrichment activities, and they could perhaps be working beyond the standard, but for math, it is not typical. As you start to get assessments home, writing pieces home, and you have any questions about the report cards, when you're in OnCourse and you log in and you see that they're getting 4, 3, 2s, and 1s and things, and it's not making sense to you, you are welcome to email or call myself, Melissa McCooley. Jackie Tresolino is the curriculum director, or any of the building administration can field your questions. We had numerous meetings for parents already, and we're having another parent meeting September 21st at the Frog Pond School in the multipurpose room at 5 o'clock. So if you want to come to that meeting, we will go over the report cards again with you and we'll answer any questions that you have.